Got a great exercise library for you guys today to grow your chest, and it's gonna be the dumbbell fly. After all your pressing is done, if you wanna stretch everything out in your chest, a great exercise to do that is gonna be the dumbbell fly. Now, sadly, I see this just done so poorly in gyms across the country and clients sending them to me across the world that I thought, let's make a video, talk about all things dumbbell fly, and let's fix your form and get your chest growing. And the first thing we're gonna talk about is the bench height. All right, we're starting with the decline. Now, if you notice, this is a very slight decline, but I don't want a drastic decline because that's just gonna get way too much shoulder work. I wanna think about stretching and open up that pec. So slight decline, and we're gonna do that with placing a bumper plate under the head of the bench. All right, next up, flat. I do like this, but in the grand scheme of life, it's one of my least favorites. I can't honestly remember the last time I've done a flat dumbbell fly. 9 out of 10, we're gonna do a slight decline or a version of incline. So number one incline, it's gonna be a low incline. Roughly 30-degree angle. I like this, but 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna pair this with a dumbbell press. And if I'm gonna dumbbell press on the incline, I'm gonna do this angle. So my thought process is, I wanna change the angle that I press or fly at because I don't wanna keep repeating the same angle of execution. So for me, when I do dumbbell flies, and specifically if I pair that with a dumbbell press, I'm never gonna do this angle. Now, on the flip side of that, let's say I do an incline barbell press. You notice this angle is about a 45, right? So if I'm gonna pair the dumbbell fly with a barbell press on that session of a workout, what I'm gonna find is I want to do the lower incline or an even steeper incline. So again, if I'm doing the incline barbell press, I'm gonna do 30 degree or the degree I'm gonna show you next. I did the 45 degree. I'm gonna take it up and hit that steeper incline and really hit those fibers up around my collarbone. So again, what I wanna think about when I'm selecting my ranges of motion, the benches that I use, I wanna think about angle, right? So let's fully lay one of these out, right? Let's say I start with a hamstring incline press, which is gonna be a flat back all the way up. Then, let's say I do a cable fly, then I do a slight incline dumbbell press, which is at a 30. When I'm gonna fly, 9 out of 10, I'm gonna lower it to right there, 45. So that way I'm getting all different ranges of motion. So think about it logically when you're setting up the sequencing and the types of benching you're doing while pressing for your chest or flying for your chest. You wanna think about the workout as a whole. To me, I'm never gonna do this exact same incline twice in one workout. So there's 2 ways I like to dumbbell fly, and I'm gonna show you both of them. So the first one, if you notice, I'm gonna jump up. You see that little crook in the bench here? I'm gonna shove my glutes right into that. I'll sit back. Good little arch. I'm gonna come out, pause, 1, 2, and I'm only coming up to between 10 and 2 and 11 and 1, and then right back down. Let me show you some full normal range of motion and sets and reps speed. Open that chest, squeeze the chest. Open the chest, squeeze the chest. On every one of these, I'm gonna pause for a slight second in the hole and then squeeze. This dumbbell fly isn't trying to break strength records. I wanna think about opening these pecs. Here. One more. Good. So, that is the most basic way. That's the way you're gonna be taught pretty much anyone that ever is gonna teach this properly, right? Something else cool that I found years ago just by accident was tinkering around with moving all the way up and actually dangling my head off the bench and really hyper exaggerating the arch in my back to nail the upper chest fibers. All right, all the way up on the bench here. Open that chest, open 1, 2, squeeze. Relax that neck. 1, 2, squeeze. Open that chest, squeeze. Squeeze. That feels so good. So that, in my opinion, is perfect form. No matter what option you choose, either one where I'm seated in the bottom of the bench or at the top, either one feel great. And I'll tinker back and forth between the two. I will say the one where my head's dangling off the bench, I can't use nearly as much weight, where I'm probably using between 40s and 50s with a normal way. I might use 35s, 40s for my head off the bench. It just tends to be a little bit harder. And because it tends to be a little bit more upper pec dominant, where I have less strength because I'm purposely not recruiting my front delts. Now, let me show you some mistakes that I commonly see. Okay, so I'll see a lot of guys have good technique to here, but then what they do is they rotate it and press up, right? And that's a complete exercise by itself. I've actually seen people fly here, stretch, and then rotate in and press. But if you're doing that, this is not a fly. This is not a fly. This is a neutral grip chest press. What we want to think about with flies: open, stretch and squeeze. Open, stretch and squeeze. Now, another mistake we see people make. This motion from here to here is useless. Stop here and squeeze that pec. So stretch, squeeze, stretch. Oh, that feels so good. Squeeze those pecs, right? It's keeping all the tension here, right? Something else you'll notice, slight bend in my elbow, right? So I'm here, slight bend, squeeze, slight bend, squeeze. This meat has to converge, right? We're shoving my elbow across my body. Here, contract. Here, you can watch my chest rise and fall, right? Chest, chest. So you're doing your flies. That's what your form should look like on every rep. All right, to wrap this video up, sets, reps, and where I'd place it in the workout. So to me, there's two places you can do this. You can do it at the beginning on a chest shoulder pump day. I personally would never start with this on a heavy day. It just makes my shoulders feel a little too rickety. Maybe it's just my age, but I would definitely start with this either first or last. So on a pump day, I have no issue starting with the incline dumbbell fly if I pyramid my way up. And then normally what I would do is pair that with a superset of a machine chest press. So I'm gonna do 8 to 15-ish dumbbell flies, immediately go over to a chest press, or I can even transpose that, do the chest press first, machine, and then do it as a second part of the superset and do the fly second in rotation with that superset. So two ways to do it there. But if we're talking about our base heavy days, I'm gonna save this to the very end before I do shoulders. So I would even do a top set and a back off. You could do a triple drop set, or you could just do a standalone set where you really own that pause in the hole, come up, huge contraction. And then lastly, you could even do it as a volume-based exercise. So 3 or 4 sets, 8 to 12, 8 to 15 reps, and just crush volume. By that point, your chest should be full blown with blood, and you should just further your pump with every progressive set there. So 3 different ways we can do it: progressive overload, superset it, finish with it, or just do a straight volume with it. Again, the dumbbell fly is a great and exceptional exercise if you put it in the right spot of your workout, have right form, and really utilize how your body is meant to fire that chest, which in this case, it's across the body and squeeze. Across the body and squeeze. So you gotta keep your sternum high, chest high, and squeeze those pecs. Just randomly flopping around with these dumbbells on a fly is not gonna work, guys. It's just not. You may be able to get away with that on a pec deck or a high cable crossover, but not with these dumbbells. There's too much play, too much room for error. So lock your form in stone, feel that chest stretch, and drill the pecs. Until next time, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Christmas TV.